So if you remember, one of the reasons why I started looking into this issue of why it is that some fathers abandon their children was because I'm a therapist, and when I was working in therapy, I kept finding these men who we were doing basically risk assessment. So I was doing a risk assessment to figure out, does this man have support systems? Does he have loved ones around him? And I would eventually get to his parents and his mum and his dad. And the amount of men who kept saying to me, when I would say, oh, tell me a little bit about your father and the relationship you had with him, and the amount of them who were like, I don't know who my dad is, was shocking for me. So I then went out to try to figure out, why are all these men saying they don't know who their dad is? That literally makes no sense. How can you not know who your dad is? Surely you've asked. Surely you said to your mum or your auntie or your grandparents, where is my dad? Who is my dad? Anyway, I found out these conversations are not had. And part of the reason these conversations are not had is because of the way the child came into existence. So one of the questions that I was curious about is, do we have any statistics or numbers on how many women that have children where the children were a result of rape or forced sex in the UK. So here's what the research says. So research from the Centre for Women's Justice estimates that there are about somewhere between 2,000 and about 4,000 children in England and Wales who've been conceived through rape in 2021. Of those pregnancies, about 30% of those ended in termination, and about another 30%, the children went into adoption. In other words, they weren't raised by the rape survivor, the mother. And official figures from the Department of Work and Pension show that there were 1,830 mothers who reported non-consensual conception in child benefit claims. So this basically means that there are thousands upon thousands of children each year who are born as a result of rape or forced sex in England and Wales. And part of the reason why some kids don't know who their biological father is because they were put up for adoption, or the family hasn't told them. More recent studies estimated that there was somewhere, so for example, that study in 2021, it estimated there were about 3,356 pregnancies from rape that occurred in 2021, with about an estimation of about 50 to 70% of those being carried through to birth. So that's anywhere up to about 2,500 births. So if we're looking at those in terms of numbers, that basically means about every 5 babies a day in England or Wales are born as a result of rape, which those numbers, I've got to be honest with you, shocked me. A university study from Manchester found that among